Ever found yourself in an infinite loop of consumption of manifesting content, from Bob Proctor's video on paradigm shifts to Dr. Despinosa's video on manifesting? The problem with that is you feel you are making progress by absorbing all of this content. But the moment you close your laptop, it's like you're brought back to reality. Although you're working in keeping with those principles, you're not seeing the corresponding result in your own life. You see, I was at this same position as you about a year ago. About a year ago, I decided to make my own test. I followed the Bob Proctor's instruction. I wrote, I affirmed, and for this video, I found an interesting notebook. This is a notebook from about a year ago, the one I used to make my own test. And from this notebook, you can see that I'm a very diligent man. I wrote, see how tiny they are, to show you how desperate and zealous I was. I wrote, I affirmed, I believed, I went to bed. I looked at it before I went to bed. So I did all of this, and guess what? Nothing happened. Nothing happened after putting into 8 months of work of my life, dreaming, chanting, writing all of this. Do you know how many pen died because of this venture? Going from someone who had nothing going on from him, writing affirmations, to someone, fast forward a year now, to someone who has everything he once wrote on that notebook. What was the difference? In my own opinion, if you are struggling to manifest that which you desire, you're found wanting in one of these two areas. The first is, this current version of you is not sufficient to hold the desire you want. This version of you cannot manifest or cannot hold the magnitude of results you desire. Your prosperity in this world is not predicated on the economy alone, but it's more of your philosophy and paradigm. Notice this in your own life. There is a certain level of finances that revolves around you. You never cross that benchmark. Not necessarily because you're confined to an income bracket or you're lazy or you're stupid. It's because your mindset is a direct reflection of the income you make. Your mindset is a very important factor. Your body is just an executor. If I carry a gun and I go to kill, the gun is innocent. The problem is my mindset instructed the body to carry that gun till it kills, because I do not believe that I can prosper with dignity and honor. I hope you know an armed robber was once a child, and over the course of his life, he heard being kind is good, being prosperous is good, but he also heard that stop a luxurious boss and overnight you become a millionaire. That advice superimposed every information his parents gave him, ultimately making him a robber. You who's watching, imagine you manifested a Lambo. You manifested a Lambo, the power of manifestation is real. What next? That information alone, at the mention of that information, you can see the level of resistance in your own mind, because you feel it will look so much out of place. So you're trying to manifest things gradually, maybe a new house first, then a Lambo, then money. But that was not how the system was built upon. Imagine how many things are in this world. Imagine we were to manifest things individually with the amount of time it takes to get hold of your object of desire. How old would you become? Back to the Lambo story. Say you have a Lambo now. Even if you try to liquidate it, how many car dealers do you know? Exactly. Even if you liquidate it, chances are excellent that you get scammed, you get ripped off, or you sell it at a bargain. That's it. Because that is the level of your current transformation. Who is a millionaire? A millionaire is not someone with millions and millions of dollars. A millionaire is someone who has relationship that is able to sustain that level of results. That's why the prophets in the Bible said, borrow vessels, borrow not a few. Say, expand your vessel. The problem, and you see from that Bible that the problem was not the oil. The problem was that the vessel carrying it was too small. And the moment the lady expanded her capacity, the oil began to flow. The problem was not that the oil was limited in supply, but the vessel hosting it was very little. So you, my friend, who wants to manifest a magnitude of result, don't just see yourself having this nice life, having the nice things, having the luxury lifestyle, having a yacht or nice car, as wonderful and as significant as all aforementioned are. There's a responsibility component. I know you shut down at the mention of something banal as well. I believe in the power of manifestation, but there are actions you can actually take that puts you in a position to get what it is you desire. There are actions you can actually take that puts you in a position that makes it easier for the universe to hand out that which you deserve. Nothing is more admirable than the union of hard work and someone who has a predefined goal, striving consistently, working towards that goal. It's nothing more admirable than that. It is the union of responsibility and manifesting, believing that all your actions, all the things you do, they are going to come to fruition. That is what merges and hands you out what you desire. Like I said, even if you are able to manifest that which you desire, your mindset will compel activities around your life that will force that result to return back to your previous state. Imagine with me, you give a poor man a Balenciaga shirt, a white Balenciaga shirt. It's every poor man's dream to have luxury. You hand out this shirt to this poor guy, and within a matter of months, this white shirt is not looking brown, it's not looking white, but it has this sign of dirtiness. The difference is, while you were putting on that shirt, it was a reflection of what is here. And when the shirt changed ownership, it reflected the level of understanding of the person. So you see, it is not necessarily what you do, it is who you are. There is the gate man angry somewhere saying this CEO, he does nothing, all he does is to sign documents and take $1 million home. My advice is to switch them. Take the man at the gate to the office and the man at the office to the gate. You notice that the first thing the man at the office does is to eat all the cookies in the office, both the one for him and for visitors. It's only a matter of time before he runs that company to a ditch and bounce. Whereas the man at the gate is thinking, I need to automate this gate. I need to see how I can automate this process and save time. The problem is not what you do. The problem is not your current level of employment that gives you this system of reward. That's not the problem. The problem is your mindset. The problem is your mindset, the mindset that governs your action, ultimately leading to the choices you make, which then produces the result you have, determining the ultimate quality of your life. That's what you need to attack. Don't try to change physical things. Change your internal state. And that internal state will then compel you to take actions that ultimately produces the result you're trying to change. That's the first one. The second is your resistance is causing you unhappiness. Your own acceptance of this reality, of your present reality, is what is bringing you so much sadness, anxiety, and sorrow. There are two kinds of manifestors. The first kind believes that the moment they get up, they would have manifested their object of desire. While the second is kind of the opposite. They believe that by the end of the day, they would have that which they desire. And when they don't manifest their desires within the stipulated time, you become unhappy. You might try to resist it and say, I'm already there. You might try to shut down that negative thought, but the reality is it's still there. The way to escape this dilemma is to accept this current reality. And I want you to repeat after me. I, then say your name. I, Webchon. I am at this place. I weigh X amount of pounds. I work at this place of employment. This is how much I have in my account. But I refuse to remain here. The moment you say this thing, for some, there's a level of resistance because you don't want to lose your psychological streak in the manifestation register. You don't want to lose everything you work for. There's a resistance, but this resistance is causing you more unhappiness. But because the more you find out that you've not gotten that which you seek, the more unhappy and dissatisfied you be. So I recommend that you use what I call the surrender tactic. When you hear surrender, most people have a negative connotation associated with that word. I'm not implying giving up. I'm not implying giving into life struggles. I'm not implying defeat. I want you to accept this present reality. And once you've accepted it, you feel this internal peace. You feel like you don't need to be bothered about what is happening. Just you enjoy this present moment. But this is the trap. This is where most people get it wrong. They become unbothered about their current situation because now they feel this internal peace, which they thought that stuff they were desiring in the future. Where in summary, the salvation they seek from the future is now here. So they are at a point of rest. But the reality of things is that your situation is uncomfortable. That's the truth. And it's only a matter of time before you revert back to manifesting because you realize this is the case. And when you get back to manifesting, you watch me again who tells you, oh, that's not the case. So you're in this infinite loop of not getting anywhere. You're just running around in circles. Stop. At this point, you would have been playing mental movies. Mental movies would have been running on your head. But I want you to plan, stipulate, clearly articulate where you want to go. Write the things that will put you in a better position to get that which you desire. The moment you start working towards it, you feel this, it's more easier to feel that you have acquired what you've got if you're already taking the necessary actions that equate to that result. For the next 90 days, I challenge you to do something different. It might be waking up early, reading a chapter of a book, doing something consistently. We as humans love progress. That's why we frown at things like stagnancy, disfavor, or being stuck at a point. You don't understand this biological need. That's why when you've been confined to an environment for so long, you just want to leave. You don't understand, but you say, I need a change of environment. I've been here for so long. We as humans hate stagnancy. And once you start building this progress, once you start building this consistency cycle, you build more self-esteem, you respect yourself more, you're progressing to that goal. You feel like you've already arrived. Because if you've already arrived, this is the action that have been taken. And now you're taking that action, which means you've already arrived. That's just the psychology. I'm not disputing what the influencers say, which means to feel like you've arrived already. But the actions I give you today would put you in a position where that becomes like a common sense. There's no longer resistance. It becomes more habitual for you to be in that state of expectancy because now you're working together towards that result or you believe you're already in the result and this is the necessary steps to take in order to maintain this new dimension you've entered. So this has been a long one. Alright, Webchon family. If there's something you took today, take responsibility for your life. Hoping, affirming, it might work, it might not work, but I don't want to find out. Your time is your most valuable asset. It can neither be multiplied nor made more of. Would you spend your time hoping and praying for something you didn't put in the necessary amount of labor for? Have you if it's so powerful, have you ever seen a guy with muscles? How did you get so big and muscular? So, oops, I was sitting in the field and around holding hands with degenerates chanting platitudes and around the campfire. That is not the case. Start taking actions that nudges you forward towards your goal. Stop deluding yourself. The second is accept your current reality. Current reality, this denial of current reality is creating unhappiness and resistance in your life. I want you to accept it. And once you accept it, don't remain in that level, believe that there's something out there and take actions that progressively moves you towards that which you desire. It will be easier to keep you in that expectation state by taking actions that are necessary. As always, welcome family. Appreciate your see you in the next one.